We're back for another edition of the LL Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Penn Medicine, Lancaster General Health, Sports Medicine. I am Mike Gross, your humble host, and seated to my right are our familiar correspondents, John Walk and Jeff Reinhardt. Seated to my left, I'm happy to report, is our girls softball writer, Dave Byrne, and I'm particularly happy to report this because I don't have to act like I know something about softball this week. Because Dave is going to give us an update on LL softball as we rumble toward the end of the regular season. Welcome, oh great one.
Oh, great to be here. Great to be here.
Break it down, big guy. Go.
Well, let's work backwards. We'll start in Section 4. Anvil Cleona is the first squad in the league to secure a section title.
Wow.
It took a 2.5 game lead last week with 2 games to go. It's their 20th section title overall and their 15th outright.
Yeah, pretty good tradition there, no question.
Mennonite, Lancaster Mennonite, Lancaster Catholic, and Pequay Valley are all in the running for that second LL playoff berth out of Section 4. Catholic and Pequay probably have the inside track. The final determination will probably come down to tiebreakers because Catholic and Pequay split the season series. In Section 3, Northern Lebanon has run away with it so far. They host Donegal tomorrow on Wednesday, and they travel to Mannheim Thursday night in games that will go a long way to decide the section title. Plus, Donegal hosts Mannheim on Monday, and the results of those 3 games will determine who the 2 teams coming out of Section 3 are.
Wow.
Section 2, Lampeter Strasburg.
Hey.
Boy, the defending 5A state champs retooled, and after going 2-3 to start the season, they've won 11 in a row.
11.
Wow.
And they're looking sharp.
Nice.
Kiva Middleton is where it all starts. As the new coach, Earl Rutledge, said to me the other week, you've got Kiva on the hill, you got a chance. All you got to do is play defense behind her and get a run or 2.
They've given up some runs, though, this year. They haven't been, right?
Yeah. They're breaking in. The 3 outfielders from last year are now the catcher, the second baseman, and the center fielder is still in center field.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah. But they beat E-Town last night, and they clinched at least a tie for the section title. E-Town is out of the section title contention, but can still be a playoff contender.
Didn't they beat LS the first time through?
They did. They beat LS 4-3 the first time through. Yeah. They were not real tight on defense last night and got down 7-0 early. If Solanco would run the table and LS would lose to Ephrata on Friday, it's possible. Then they would have a tie for the section title, and they would go. The tiebreakers come into effect.
So they don't play off for section titles?
Not anymore.
Nobody plays off anymore in the
Nobody
LL
plays
Very
off.
Sorry, guys. Very disappointing.
We talked about that in basketball.
Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Let them play a
And
one-game
I
playoff.
completely misread the baseball.
I mean, I could
rules
see
today. I'm mistaken. I'm
Nobody
glad
has
I know
one.
that because I was gonna say a whole bunch of wrong things in a couple minutes.
That's disappointing.
Yeah, it
because
is.
people love the one-game playoff.
Right.
You're going to pack it and make some money at the gate. You're going to have concessions. Let the kids play the game.
Not only that, but we're so used to so many rainouts and things. But this, at least in baseball, which I pay attention to, they would have all next week to do it. They could easily make that
Play
work.
one
Anyway.
game.
Yeah. The regular season ends Monday in softball, and you still have 4 days to.
You can play one game.
Right.
Yeah.
Easily.
And then in Section 1, we got Penn Manor. They lost a lot of players from last year, but they punched a bunch of new good players in there, and
Boy, they've been impressive. Yeah.
they have been impressive. And most impressive is second baseman Emily Riggs, who's probably one of the 2 best pitchers in the league, if not the best pitcher in the league.
She's a closer.
She's the closer. She's the hammer.
Oh, for real? She doesn't start?
They have
She comes in
found
later.
They have found a formula. They have the freshman Julie Bowmaster, who is a classic slow baller. Not that she's slow. I mean, she's fast and she moves the ball around, but she's not as fast as Riggs is. And she'll go 5, and then Riggs comes in and drops the hammer in the 6th and 7th.
Give me the righty.
Where's that stack up as far as section championship for Penn Manor softball? Do you know the numbers?
Not off the top of my head.
But are they usually on this stage?
Yeah, they are on this stage. They won a couple years when Brittany Hook
Oh, right.
She was
was
great.
in the circle, and Warwick won it last year, but Penn Manor's there. They clinched at least a tie for the section title last night when they beat Township, and with Hempfield losing to Cedar Crest, that locks up Warwick's spot as the number 2 team.
Last year we sat here every week and we marveled at the home runs that Penn Manor was hitting. Just slugging like
Yeah.
crazy. Are they the same way this year, or are they?
They're not hitting as many homers. The revelation this year has been Madeline Mitchell in left field. She is leading the team in hitting.
All right.
Now, Emily Riggs is approaching, any day now, she should get her 100th career hit, which is
It's a big deal.
a pretty big deal, even if you're a 4-year player.
That is a big deal.
You're playing 22 games a year. If you get 1 hit per game,
Yeah, she's been starting since freshman year, and then no season happened her sophomore year.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
a lot of
that's
these
right.
kids missed a full
true.
season.
That's true. Wow, that is impressive.
So who's the MVP of the league? You got to pick a kid. I know there's a couple games left, but Riggs is in the conversation.
Riggs is in the
pitcher at LS is in
conversation.
the conversation.
Middleton's in the conversation.
How about Section 3-4 kids who don't always get a lot of pub?
The Northern Lebanon kids? It's been a group effort. Their center fielder, Autumn Bohr, she'll catch anything hitting her zip code. She's a
Nice.
great leadoff. And she's kind of been the rock that they've built around.
All right, let's talk postseason. LL favorite is who?
Penn
Who
Manor
gets
or
through that
LS?
bracket? Yeah.
This being an odd-numbered year, let me make sure I got this right. Section 4 teams will play the Section 2 teams, and Section 3 teams will play the Section 1 teams. The playoff starts Saturday a week. The section champions will host the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals are Monday at Millersville University, and the finals are Wednesday at Millersville University.
Gotcha. Anybody ranked high in the district? Anybody got a shot to win there?
Penn Manor was number 1 all season until they lost to LS in extra innings. They are 3.
In 6A.
Warwick is 4 in 6A. LS is bounced between 3 and 2 in 5A. Northern Lebanon is 3 and 4A.
Give us a sleeper team.
Sleeper team for the LLs?
Yeah. Or and beyond. Might get to June. Somebody we least suspect.
Well, you can't count out Solanco with Brett Miller.
They had a good start, didn't they?
Yeah,
I know you
they-
covered a couple of their games early.
Yeah.
They got off to a good start.
He had a young staff last year, which didn't solidify until late, and he's settled in with Ian Sexton in the circle. And if they play, it's like everybody in the league. If you play good defense, you got a shot.
If you have an ace and you score 2 runs
Yeah.
on any given day, how about Donegal? Seems like they're always there. Wayne and them, they're always there. They always figure it out.
Their big bugaboo has always been defense the last 2 years.
Okay.
Which is funny because they were so tight over those years with Steph Gaynor at shortstop, and then Savannah Kalenda, Rachel Robinson.
That's a factory. That's a factory.
Yeah.
Last one from me. Can LS repeat?
In states,
Yeah.
they got a shot.
Not easy.
Not easy.
Obviously, I mean that bracket will be crazy. But
That Armstrong team they beat was very young. I mean, they were stupid.
and they
young.
slugged the ball
And
at
they
Penn
slugged the
State. We
ball.
did that game, and they were they were hitting balls out over the fence off of.
Off of Kiva.
Yes, they were. I mean, it was a great win by LS. But do we have a team that can get to Penn State in June, in your opinion?
I would say probably the best chance would be LS, maybe Penn Manor in 6A.
They got deep last year. They were state quarters.
Yeah.
They lost over at Boyertown. I forget who beat them. It was a
Yeah.
good team.
Yeah.
But okay.
You're taking over our softball.
Sorry,
coverage.
I'm going to end up covering some softball games because I always do. So I'm picking his brain now.
All right.
Your
So I don't have
comments
to ask
mission
him
for
about-
Ryan.
I'm full of questions.
Well, you heard us mention Emily Riggs. John, tell us more about
Yeah,
Emily
almost
Riggs.
forgot. So Tyler and I last week went out to Manor Middle School, chatted with Emily Riggs, UMBC recruit, second baseman, closer. Parents both played collegiately. Dad played baseball, mom played softball.
Nice.
It's kind of where they met. She's a big sister, has 2 younger brothers, so we kind of chatted about all that, and plus her now being a senior leader on a team that entered the year needing to replace 6 players who all played a major role last year and have since graduated. So, by the way, you would like this. She was also a starter and a captain on the Penn Manor girls basketball team that won a section title for the first time in 47 years. And here the comments are the Section 1 champions in softball. So, with all that said, we will go out to Manor Middle chatting with Emily Riggs. Here with Emily Riggs out at Manor Middle School for Penn Manor. When we record this, you guys are atop Section 1, and I bring that up to say you came into the year having to replace 6 starters, and here you are atop the section, and I'm sure it hasn't been easy. Can you just kind of walk me through having to fill those gaps early on? How have you guys been able to do it?
Yeah, it was a very, very big rebuilding year. The underclassmen have definitely stepped it up. The first 2 weeks of practice, it was more or less getting used to each other, knowing where our tendencies are. But I think Coach Stokes has really done a great job with mentally preparing us. Like when we do our warm-ups, we practice more situations like runners on second and third, 7th inning, 2 outs, just make the play, go to first, and game over. So I think that has really helped us grow as a team and be calm under those pressure situations.
And then near the end of the games, you go from second baseman to now, hey, Emily, we need you to take the ball and be our closer. And I know that's a common role for you now. You've been doing it at least since freshman year at the varsity level. How do you kind of make that switch in a sense? Because it's a completely different position.
I just go in there knowing that I have a job to do. Julie Bowmaster, she's our starting pitcher. Her and my styles are complete opposites, so that kind of helps me when I start to pitch that batters are a little off balanced when that happens. So, yeah.
Softball players and baseball players are often superstitious. Are you superstitious in any way?
Yeah, definitely. It's not so much before the games, it's during the games. But before every inning, I have to do 8 swipes in front of second base. Before every at-bat, twirl my bat so many times. So.
Going forward here, by the time this goes up, we'll be going into the final days of what is the regular season for softball, and then leagues around the corner. With that said, what's kind of the goals? Where do you see Penn Manor going?
Well, I hope that we're on top, but I just think that we need to stick to our game, and how we play is where we're going to go.
All right, thanks, John and Tyler, and also Dave. Plenty of softball insight. Very impressive.
Good stuff.
For volleyball insight, we go where we always go. Jeff Reinhardt.
Okay, I was stunned to even see
all
this.
stunned.
Yeah, I know. Volleyball's over next week. Wow. Match of the year here is Tuesday as we record. Sorry. Hempfield at Warwick Tuesday night for first place in Section 1. They're both having a great season. Hempfield started the week 9-0 atop Section 1. Warwick just a game behind them. Hempfield won the first meeting early April. Rematch is Tuesday night in Lidditz. If Hempfield wins, they go to 10-0 and get at least a tie for the section title. If Warwick wins, they'd be tied in the loss column with 1 loss apiece with a couple matches to go. Tuesday, Thursday this week, Monday, Wednesday next week, and then the LL semifinals, believe it or not, are next Friday. Okay. Cedar Crest 5-4, CV 4-4, Penn Manor 3-5. Falcons, Bucks, Comets are all on the outside looking in District 3, 3A. Hempfield's number 1, although Hempfield lost to Lower Dolphin on Monday night in a non-league match. Lower Dolphin's the defending 2A state champ, and they're number 1 in 2A. Not a horrible loss. It was 3-1. We'll see if Hempfield remains at the top of District 3, 3A. Section 2, I've spent all my time this spring in Section 2. It's been great. Mennonite, 8-1, they're out front. Game up on Garden Spot, 7-2. They split their season series. Mennonite and Spot both won at home by a 3-2 score. Was at both matches, they were great. Central 6-3, E-Town 5-3. Cocalico 3-5, playing everybody tough. Big match in Section 2 this week. Cocalico at Mennonite on Thursday. As of right now, Cocalico would be in 2A. District 3, even with a 3-5 league record. They're number 8. Mannheim 7. Garden Spot's 5. Mennonites 3. E-Town is 13, Warwick is 5, Hempfield's 1, and District 3, 3A. Next week, Manheim Central plays Garden Spot on Wednesday. We'll see how everything shakes down in Section 2 because Mennonite's out front and they're done playing Garden Spot. So Garden Spot needs to win out and hope somebody knocks off Mennonite if they're going to tie and go from there. Okay, I wanted to mention, I had a story in over the weekend. I don't know if you saw it or not. I just thought this was a neat angle. Eleanor Schultz, Manheim Township coach, Monica Schaefer, Cedar Crest coach, women, hello, coaching boys volleyball. Not really a Title IX story or anything like that, but I just thought it was a neat angle. 2 women coaching boys sports. We don't see a ton of that in LL. I'm sure maybe track. There's probably some women track coaches.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't really
right,
see
we
that.
don't see-
Yeah,
it's
we don't
rare.
really see a whole lot of that. So that's still on Lancaster Online. Eleanor and Monica were great. Thank you very much for the interviews. They were awesome. So take a look for that. Player of the Week, Spotlight kid I wanted to mention, Elijah Ugalde from Cocalico. 20 kills against Manheim Central last Tuesday, 3-2 loss, but Cocalico took the Barons to 5, and 9 kills last Thursday in a win against Lebanon. Cocalico is inside the bubble, as mentioned, in 2A, causing headaches in Section 2. They're not going to win it. They might not even get the 500 in section play, but they're looking to get in here in districts, which would be great for Cocalico. They really needed a bounce-back season, and they're getting it. Elijah's been really good with the spikes and the kills and all that good stuff. So, yeah, 4 match nights left. Tuesday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, playoffs. Playoffs. Volleyball.
Playoffs. Thank you, Ryan.
You got it.
Now,
Lax me.
Lacrosse. All right, so we're recording this, Tuesday? So this time next week will be the start of the league playoffs. 4 teams get in. In boys, it's the top 2 in each section. In girls, it's just 1 league, so it's the top 4 teams. With all that said, Cocalico this past Monday night beat Elizabethtown, which is notable because that locked up the final. This is in girls lacrosse, I should say. So the top 4 teams make it. Cocalico beat E-Town, locks up the 4th and final spot in the 4-team league tournament. So Township, Hempfield, Lampeter, Strasburg, Cocalico. That's your girls playoff field for next week. A top game coming up this coming Thursday night, league regular season finale. Manheim Township goes to Hempfield for the LL regular season crown. The Blue Streaks will enter with a 101 LL regular season win streak. They've also won 22 straight in the league playoffs. Jeff, you asked me last week as far as maybe across all sports teams that have won 100 straight league regular season. And then right after we got the record, I remember last year, Manheim Township boys lacrosse had 110 game streak stat.
Wow.
In boys lacrosse by Hempfield.
Girls are going to chase them there.
So girls will chase them more than likely next year. So that's going to be Thursday night over in Landisville. I'll be on that. I'll be at that one. Boys lacrosse, Section 1, Manheim Township swept Hempfield. So Section 1 champs is Blue Streak. Section 1 runner-up is Hempfield. Section 2, Lampeter Strasburg has already clinched the Section 2 crown. Who's the runner-up? Who knows? Cocalico, Lancaster Country Day, Garden Spot. And I think I'm missing one more. I don't have it written down here. But basically, Tuesday and Thursday games are going to decide that. But Cocalico would be an interesting story in the sense that they think they've only made the league playoffs maybe once or twice. And it's been 5 years since they've had a winning record. And I think they only had like 3 wins last year. So they're sitting in the number 2 spot as we record this. A couple shout outs here. Elizabethtown boys last Monday picked up their first win, this previous Monday picked up their first win of the season. Last week, the Cedar Crest boys snapped a 22-game losing streak. Also last week, Lancaster Country Day, Lancaster Catholic boys goalkeeper Calvin Morris recorded his 500th save.
Nice.
Didn't E-Town score on like the last second of the game?
And they beat Ephrata, who was a LL playoff team last year, and
nice.
kind of a cool little matchup there. And E-Town is, for those who don't know, is what I consider the birthplace of boys lacrosse within the county. The very first high school boys lacrosse game within the county was played on a field kind of down the hill behind, I think, the middle school or the elementary school there. So I've kind of always held it like, hopefully E-Town, gets things together eventually and, upholds that distinction at some point. That was 21 years ago, I believe.
Interesting.
All right. Thank you, John.
Sure. Go ahead,
If I
Dave.
may jump in.
You may.
Circle back. We're talking about programs that have won 100 straight league.
Yes.
We can't we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the Mannheim Central wrestling team,
Ah.
which won 141 league matches.
There we go. That's
From
probably the record.
1958 through 1970.
You know, another one that I thought of after we talked about that last week, although I don't know about a streak, but McCaskey boys track.
Yes.
For decades,
Yep.
the
Had
70s, 80s, into the 90s, and they may not have. And you don't have as many games / dual meets in track, but in terms of dominance,
They're
they
probably
would
in
certainly
there.
be in the conversation.
And township tennis.
Yeah.
Boys or
Yes.
girls.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yeah, Gordy Groom with the girls.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have Carl Frederick's number, so I'll have to call him, the former McCaskey track coach. I'm sure
Well,
he
and
would know.
another Gordy involved there, Gordy Kraft,
find
Yeah.
that.
legendary coach of those teams.
Catholic girls basketball won 100.
No question,
And then
yeah.
lost their next game to Northern Lebanon, and they haven't lost since.
History lesson on this week's show.
Very impressive.
Good stuff. I like
There's not even going to be a quiz or anything like that. You're fine. You're fine, audience. Relax. All right, I'm going to talk about baseball.
Go.
guys. All right. And like everybody else, it's kind of crunch time for league playoffs, so I thought I would take a look at that because we haven't talked about that much in baseball. It's same format as softball. It's 4 sections, top 2 in each section. Quarterfinals are a week from Saturday. I used to call that the Spring Sports Day from Hell back when I was covering for the Patriot, and all that stuff was on one Saturday. But anyway, quarterfinals at the home fields of the section champions, and then on Tuesday, which would be the 17th, semifinals at Ephrata under the lights, and then on Thursday of that week, which would be the 19th, the championship game is at Clipper Magazine Stadium. So that should be pretty cool. Anyway. Section 1. Really got interesting in the last couple of days because of your alma mater, John. The Penn Manor Comets, in a space of 4 days, beat both Warwick and Township, who I think are two of the best teams in District 3, not just in our league. Got great pitching performances from Noah Beach beat Warwick 10-3, and then Hunter Seipel, a kid that we've talked about quite a bit, who is going to be a Division I pitcher. He's going to Kent State. Really a dominant 2-hit shutout yesterday, as we said. It was Monday against Township. So Warwick, 1 loss. They've clinched a tie for the section title. Township, Hempfield, Penn Manor, all with 3 losses. But Penn Manor has a big advantage in the schedule. They play the 2 also-rans in Section 1. That's who's left for them, McCaskey and Cedar Crest, whereas Warwick has to play both Hempfield and Township, and Hempfield and Township are going to play each other. So between now and Friday, lots of stuff going on there in terms of that section title and the playoff berth. Section 2, LS and Ephrata, both with 1 loss in the section, and they play each other Friday at Ephrata under the lights at War Memorial Field. Conestoga Valley still with a chance mathematically to find their way in there. They play Ephrata on Wednesday. And if either of those first 2 teams would lose out for the week, CV could still sneak in there. Section 3, Manheim Central, undefeated, 14-1 overall. They're in control of that race, and it looks like Donegal, with 2 losses, will get the playoff berth. We've talked about Central's dominant pitching all year. They went to the state semifinals last year. I think, if anything, they're at least at the run prevention half. They're better than they were last year. They've been really good. So they're on the verge of clinching that one. Section 4, Lancaster Catholic and Anvil Cleona, clearly superior to the pack. They each have 1 loss. Catholic has won 6 in a row. And they beat Manheim Central, by the way, one of the best wins of the year by anybody in our league. Anvil Cleona has won 5 in a row, and they beat Catholic head-to-head. So that factors in. Now, those 2 play each other at Catholic tomorrow, Wednesday, which will obviously be a huge game and determine a lot about that section. I'll be at that game, and I'll also be at the aforementioned Warwick and Township game on Friday at Warwick. And we're also going to try to find a way to get some coverage of that LS Ephrata game, which is on Friday for probably for all the marbles. So there you have it. That's where we are in the interesting thing one interesting thing I want to mention about this in terms of tiebreakers. The first tiebreaker is head-to-head. The second one, because the crossovers don't count, as we've ruminated over. The second tiebreaker is district power ranking.
Right away.
So
That's
that will be
number
the
2.
final because, of course, they can go to the 11th decimal point if they have to. So that will determine that. So big couple of days coming up in LL baseball.
Or they could just have a one-game playoff and let the kids celebrate.
They could, yeah. That's
just do that.
and I, as I said before, I misread the rules. I was looking at that today to make sure about that, and I read it wrong. But anyway,
That's a shame.
don't let my confusion deter you in any way, John, as you move forward with track and field.
Track and field. All right, shout out to Mr. Steve Navaroli, who was in here a couple weeks back for
God
all
love
this
him.
following information. Also, shout out to Rob Bear, the Cedar Crest coach for the Lebanon County
God
track
love
and
him
field
too.
meet information. Man, was it a
Great.
busy weekend in track and field over this past weekend. I'll start with the Penn Relays. McCaskey boys, Troy Johnson, 5th in the long jump, 26 feet 6 inches. McCaskey boys, Julius Benner, tied for 8th in the high jump, 6 feet 2 inches. However, Benner's high jump was the top one posted by a Pennsylvania high school athlete at the Penn Relays, which is notable there. Then McCaskey girls, the 400-meter relay placed 7th in 49.83 seconds, and then their 1600-meter relay broke a school record, 3 minutes and 54.71 seconds. So all four of the relay teams for the girls, and then Troy Johnson and Benner seem like those are going to be names to watch moving forward here as we go closer to the
John, just
postseason.
real
Sure.
quick. If you're a track fan, the Penn Relays are really cool.
Awesome.
One of the great events, and they haven't. This is the first year for a couple years because of COVID.
Right,
It's the first year they haven't. I mean, this is a Usain Bolt competed in the
Yes.
Penn Relays a couple years ago, and we always have kids from our league competing in it. Anyway,
It's awesome.
welcome back, Penn Relays.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I'll move on to the Shippensburg Invitational, the 2-miler. Lampeter Strasburg, Colin Whitaker ran it in 9 minutes, 7.62 seconds, broke a school record. It was also the 3rd best time in LL history in the 2-mile
Nice.
event. Also, in that same 2-mile event, Hempfield's Aiden Hodge, 9 minutes, 15.92 seconds, new school record for Hempfield, 8th best 2-miler in league history.
Wow.
Moving on to Lebanon County Track and Field meet. Cedar Crest back on top now. The Cedar Crest girls and boys swept there for the girls. The Falcons, 5th time in 6 years for the boys, 24th time in 25 years. I believe Rob Bear has been there for all of that.
Wow.
And then wanted to also mention this past Monday, so 2 days ago as you watched this in Section 2, first place on the line, Manheim Central. This is in girls track and field. Manheim Central beat previously unbeaten Lampeter Strasburg 82-68. Name worth throwing out there. You know this one. Barron's Maddie Nyer. First in the long jump, triple jump, and high jump. Second in javelin. So the Barons on top in Section 2 as we record this today. So a lot going on in track and field.
If you talk about 3rd best in the LL history or whatever in the 3200, think about some of the people that we've had in distance runners in our league.
I immediately go
That's-
to the brothers, the Township brothers, the two.
Yeah, I'm blanking on there.
They were
but those
cross-country
kids, I mean,
guys.
one of them almost ended up being like
Miller.
an Olympic level.
Miller brothers.
The Miller brothers.
An Olympic
Those
level.
guys, they would run the third, and they would sprint
They
the whole
would
thing.
toy with each-
They
they
would
would toy with
sprint the
each
entire race. They
State
were
titles
crazy.
in cross
There was
country
a,
and
there was a
3200.
bear that, did you
From
run
Township.
From McCaskey or Township?
Township.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that name.
Yeah, a lot of good ones. A lot of good
good
ones.
track.
Anyway,
A lot of good track.
Finally, in boys tennis, my apologies because I don't have information on 3A, but I will give a shout out. Well, I guess somewhat. In the team championship, this was last week, Lancaster Country Day beat Cedar Crest. Notable there for the Cougars, the program's first league boys tennis championship. And then in 2A singles on Monday, now Abadir beat his teammate Freddie Bloom, and then they teamed up and they won the 2A doubles championship. Abadir and Freddie Bloom, all from Country Day. So good week, really last 7 days for the Cougars boys tennis team. And pay attention to everything tennis on the tennis page, Lancaster Online, for 3A stuff. And I believe districts start Friday, either for team or singles or doubles, what have you. But
teams
that's all
first.
going to be indoors, I believe, at the Hershey Rack Club. So no rainouts as that goes. So that's going to start Friday and go through all next week.
The AAA winner, Cooper, was it Lehman? It was Cooper.
You know better than I
Lehman,
would.
yeah. The Hempfield kid.
Right.
He won the AAA
Okay.
singles LL title.
So we're trying to cover it
Congrats.
all here.
Doing our best.
it's time for my nap, gang.
Oh, that's a lot.
Dave Burns, thank you very
Thank you,
much.
David.
Great to see you.
Pleasure
Great
to
to
be
have
here.
you in here. And Ryan's, you guys, I've had enough of you two. But anyway, it's been good. We'll be back next week for more. This has been the LL Basketball Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Penn Medicine. Lancaster General Health, Sports Medicine. See you later.